guys, it's Jamie from No Getting Off This Train, and today I've got a Dollar Tree $10 challenge. If you've never joined me for my Dollar Tree meal videos, look at the link in the description. I've got my playlist to all the other Dollar Tree meals that I've done before. Now this one is a little bit different from the others because usually I try to do 3 meals for $5 each, but this time I wanted to try and make 3 meals for just $10. And that will include like using some of the ingredients for one meal and shifting it to another one. Because you know, if you buy a bag of rice, you're not going to use the entire bag of rice for one meal. You're probably going to stretch it out to 2 or 3. So that was my goal when choosing all of the meals. I typically have 3 criteria. One is to keep each meal under $5. But because I'm doing the $10 challenge, that one doesn't apply. My second criteria is that it has to feed at least 3 or 4 people. And the third criteria is that it has to be reasonably healthy. You get what you can at Dollar Tree. I think I did a pretty good job, all things considered though. So let me take you straight into what I bought for $10. Okay guys, this was a little harder than I thought it was gonna be. I spent like 20 minutes just standing in one aisle thinking, what in the world can I make for $10 that covers 3 meals? But I managed to do it. I have all 3 meals. Hopefully it'll work. So let me show you everything that I got and what I plan to make with it. First of all, I saw this brown rice and I knew that was the first thing I was gonna put in my cart. Because Dollar Tree does not always have brown rice. They usually just have white. So when I saw this, I knew I could probably turn this into 3 meals because this serves 20. I think I can turn that into 3. And then I bought some kidney beans. I'm going to try to make those 2 the base for all 3 meals. So my first meal is going to be a jambalaya. So I'm going to take some of this rice, some of these beans, and probably half of this John Morrell smoked sausage. I'm going to cook them along with a can of diced tomatoes and then some carrots. I'm gonna put all of them together to make a jambalaya. And then for the second meal, I'm gonna take some of the rice, the kidney beans, and the other half of this sausage. I'm going to make, I don't know what you call it, like some sort of a casserole, like a cornbread casserole. Because I found this is new. This is Morrison's Texas style honey sweet cornbread mix. This is what I was looking for last time that they didn't have. Now once again, I will be cheating just a little bit because we need eggs and milk. And I don't like Dollar Tree eggs, and they didn't have any milk. And this also serves 18. So hear me out for a second. Let me see if I can explain this. I'm gonna take half of this mix because this serves 18. I'm gonna make the entire mix, but I'm gonna put half of it on top of this. I think I'm going to use half a can of the manwich and mix that all together, and then put half of the cornbread mix on top of that, and then just make cornbread muffins out of the rest. That way we can have the muffins as a side for the jambalaya, and then the rest of it can just go on the casserole. So there's meal number 2. Oh, and we're gonna put spinach inside the casserole too. I tried to find vegetables. I do not like their frozen veggies. I know I've said this before, but their frozen veggies just aren't all that good to me. So I did try to find canned. And if you look at the ingredients, it's like spinach, water, and salt. And I can always like rinse off some of the salt if I need to. So meal number 1 is jambalaya. Meal number 2 is like a cornbread casserole. Meal number 3, you're just gonna have to bear with me because I'm just using whatever creativity is left in me. I'm gonna take the rest of the rice and the rest of the beans and then mix it with these meatballs and the other half of the manwich, and just making like a barbecue meatballs with rice and beans, or maybe just rice, I don't know yet. And then we'll have some green beans to go with it. So this was a very challenging $10 challenge, but I really think that I can make it work. It really helps that the rice and beans serve a lot, so I can take the 2 of those and just turn them into 3 different meals. So let's see what happens. Before I even started cooking the dinners, I cooked the kidney beans in my Instant Pot. So with a 1-pound bag of beans, I put them in a colander, I searched for rocks, and then I rinsed them off with cold water. Then I put them in my Instant Pot and added 6 cups of water, and then I cooked it on high pressure for 35 minutes, and I let it come to a natural release for about 10 or 15 minutes. Then for the cornbread casserole, I opened up the bag of mix and poured that into a bowl, and then I added the eggs and milk that went with it. I did cheat a little, like I said, because I don't like buying the eggs or milk at Dollar Tree. After whisking it all together, I went ahead and chopped up one of the John Morrell sausages. And if you remember, I'm going to use the other one in a different meal. Then I opened up both the can of manwich and the spinach, and I drained a little bit of the water from the spinach. Then with a 4th cup, I put the mix into a muffin tin. This whole bag serves 18, so I put 12 in the muffin tin, and then the other 6 will go in the casserole. In an 8x8 casserole dish, I added the sausage, and then some rice that I had already cooked previously in my rice cooker. Then I added 2 cups of kidney beans, then the can of spinach, and half of the can of manwich. After I mixed all of it together and smoothed it out, I added the rest of the cornbread mix on top. I baked it at about 375 for close to 30 minutes. It looks like it was done here, but the cornbread underneath was still a little wet. I had to cook it a little bit longer. But here's what it looks like when it's done. I was pretty surprised at how that casserole turned out. I did have to bake it a little bit longer than expected, but the combination of the sausage and the rice and the beans and then the cornbread on top and the manwich really helped. I think I would use a whole can next time. The half can did okay. I also realized I don't like canned spinach very much. If I do it again, I will either add fresh spinach or maybe some other kind of vegetables. But seriously, that served 6. They were huge servings and it was pretty good. My second Dollar Tree meal is the jambalaya, and this one was really easy. I just pre-cooked more rice ahead of time in my rice cooker, and then in a giant pot I added the can of diced tomatoes, and then 2 cans of kidney beans, the can of corn, and then the sausages as well. I've been cooking about 1 cup of rice, which is about 2 cups cooked. And all I did to this was add another cup of water or so. And then I added some salt and a couple other seasonings. I know it's cheating again because I already had them at home, but I added some garlic powder, onion powder, and then some oregano. And then all I did was let it cook in the pot for maybe 10 or 15 minutes to heat up. And this thing serves 4, and it made about 2 cups worth each. And then we served it with a cornbread muffin that I made the other day. That jambalaya was actually really easy to put together. As you saw, all I had to do was heat up all the ingredients. I had the cornbread muffins already made. All I had to do was put everything in one pot and put them into bowls, and that was it. It needed a bit more salt, and I'm glad I put all the seasonings in it. I added some hot sauce, a little bit more salt, but other than that, it was really good. My third Dollar Tree meal was the easiest, but also the most frustrating. The first thing I did was add the bag of frozen meatballs to a pot, and then I added the rest of the manwich and kind of mixed that together. And then I added the last 2 cups of kidney beans, and then I had some pre-cooked rice in the fridge. It was about 1.5 cups, so I just added that to the pot as well. And I turned it on to medium heat and began cooking it. What I forgot was that the meatballs were frozen and they would take a little bit longer to cook. While that was heating up, I added a can of green beans to a container and just put it in the microwave for a few minutes. The bottom of the pot was actually burning a little bit just because the meatballs were taking so long to cook. Eventually I decided enough was enough. I added about 1 cup of the mixture onto a plate, served it with green beans and a cornbread muffin. And this was able to serve 4. So to be honest, I wasn't quite sure what to think at first. What I will do in the future though, if I do make this again, is make the meatballs first. So if you want to make this, cook the meatballs first, because otherwise the rice is gonna get mushy, the beans will get mushy, and it takes forever for the frozen meatballs to cook. So cook those first and then put everything else in there. I mean, it tasted fine, but it was just kind of mushy. Luckily we had lots of cornbread muffins left over, and I mean, overall it was a pretty good meal. I hope this gave you some ideas on what you can feed your family at Dollar Tree this week. I noticed a couple of the meals looked a little bit strange, especially that last one, but you know, sometimes you gotta make do with what you have, and that's exactly what I did. I was still able to keep all 3 meals under $10. And if you haven't checked out my other Dollar Tree meal videos yet, check out the link in the description. I have like 3 or 4 other videos you guys can check out in your spare time. If you have any other ideas on meals you want me to make, if you found something really cool at Dollar Tree that you want me to try, please leave me a comment and let me know. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you can be notified on when I post more of these YouTube videos, or grocery hauls, recipes, or meal planning tips. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you later.